Hello, Kris here, Doom Telly, episode 56. And a short one, famous last words, a short one this week. Update roundup, that'll be the first 5 or 10 minutes or whatever it is. And then I'm going to do Dave Cavernous Carnage's 300 subs challenge. So, yeah, it's not a big challenge, this one question. So I should be able to keep it under an hour, hopefully, fingers crossed. So... anyway, I've been away for a week, as any of you avid subscribers will have noticed. I went on holiday, well, just a long weekend, up to Alnwick, Northumbria, which was bloody marvellous. As we hit the Northumbrian border, basically, I was driving, I was in charge of the tunes, and from that point onwards, for the next 4 days, we listened to nothing but Arth. That is the law. That is the way up there. So, yeah, it was fucking ace listening to the Arth stuff. Obviously, the Take Up My Bones album, the new song that's out, listening to it in the middle of the subject matter that it's talking about as such, like, you know. So yeah, that was fucking ace. I recommend if you're going up to Northumbria, take some Arth. It's fucking ace. It's the best soundtrack. It was drizzly as well up there as well, so all atmos added to it. Yeah, it was fucking ace. So yeah, hence why there were no video, because I was away. So, let's crack on with it. So, let's go through updates. Firstly, Green Sabre updates. We rehearsed last night, Sunday night, and it went ace. Really, really good. We're pretty much, I mean, I've got to write the lyrics for a couple of songs. Like, that's always the fucking last thing that happens. But yeah, we're pretty much on target for recording. The new ones are sounding really, really good. And there is a really old song. In fact, the second song I ever wrote, when I first did the Numb EP, I wrote it all myself in the space of about 2 weeks. And there was a track that was the second one that I ever wrote. Fracture was the first song that I ever wrote for the Green Sabre stuff. And then this other one, so far unnamed other song. But it got binned when we recorded the Numb EP because it just sort of felt a little too radically different. It was a bit stonery compared to the rest of the stuff. So it didn't really sit with the rest of it. So it just got left off that demo. And has been kind of like kicking around in the background ever since. Well, I like it. There's some good hooks in it and stuff like that. But I was never keen on the really stonery sort of swing beat to it all. And I couldn't get past that. Anyway, I've reworked it and it sounds fucking marvellous. So yeah, last night was a really, really good rehearsal. Like I say, our first gig's not for a little bit off yet. End of next month, 29th of March, at the Tap in Idle in Bradford, supporting Dawn of Elysium. That's going to be ace, but until then, we're just working hard on getting this stuff ready for recording. That's going to be happening the very first week of May, as it stands at the moment. So yeah, stay tuned. That's the Green Sabre update. Crowsblood update. The CD, we want it to be a cassette, but ran into all sorts of fucking trouble, and it was working out to be more expensive than it was worth, quite frankly. And so I went with CD. The Crowsblood demo is now out on CD, and thanks ever so much for all you VCers that have not only been speaking volumes about it, but have bought it in your loads. So yeah, fucking thank you ever so much. Not only for the fucking support on it, but for buying it, for talking so highly about it. I can't believe it. It's been, I mean, we believe in the stuff. We're really happy with it as a band, and it's coming along so well. But for it to be received like it is, yeah, honestly, I can't thank you a lot enough. So thanks ever so much, VCers. Give yourselves a nice pat on the back. Right, that's the Crowsblood update. So we're rehearsing. If you're watching this on Monday, we're rehearsing tonight. Again, working on new material. Cannot wait for you to hear the new stuff. We're hoping to have an album's worth by late summer. Ideally, then we're going to look at going in and recording the debut album. So yeah, watch this space. It's going to be fucking ace, and the new stuff's sounding fucking phenomenal. So yeah, that's the Crowsblood update. Godthrymm update. So far, right, I've made notes because there's a few to go through. The upcoming single that we're going to be releasing soonish, not entirely sure when, all on target. We're going into the Big Plus studio to put the drums down and a few other bits and pieces. So I think that's the first week of March that we're booked into the Big Plus studio. So once that's done, it's just a matter of mixing, mastering, and then it'll be out. Can't wait for you to hear it. It's fucking ace. It's coming along really well. In the meantime, we're planning on doing a bit of a kind of a covers series that are going to be sort of YouTube predominantly. where we're going to be doing some interesting covers. I'll say no more about what songs we're doing and stuff like that, but we've been beavering away on that in the background, and it's sounding magnificent so far. Really, really interesting choices of songs, and yeah, it's sounding ace. I'm really, really enjoying it. So yeah, it's a good chance for us to kind of like fill the gaps between waiting for recording and waiting for gigs and stuff like that. So yeah, it's going really, really well. On the gig front, do not forget, any of you in the Huddersfield area, Thursday, the 29th of February. Not long off now at all. My first gig with Godthrymm, and our first gig of 2024. Support to Crowbar at the Parish in Huddersfield, Thursday, 29th of February. We're opening act. I think we've got about half hour. I cannot wait. Like I mentioned on a previous video, I'm equal parts absolutely shitting it, absolutely overexcited, waiting to play with Crowbar like so. Gonna be magnificent. Can't wait. That'll be my first venture onto stage with Godthrymm as well. So, any of you in the area on that time, come and see us. I think there's still a smattering of tickets left, but it's getting close. So if you want a ticket, get one in. Final Godthrymm update. I believe Hamish is doing a interview for gas masks and hand grenades on the channel. I'll link to his channel down below. I don't know if there's a link for it yet, but I think Hamish is doing an interview on there tonight as it stands. So if you're watching this on Monday 19th, tonight, UK time around 7 o'clock, I think, something like that. US time, I think, is that 2 p.m. Eastern time? Whatever it is anyway. So, yeah, Hamish is doing an interview on gas masks and hand grenades tonight. So keep an eye out for that. Should be really, really good. I'll be watching it. Will you? So, right, 6-7 minutes. Those are the updates. Let's crack on with the 300 subs challenge. I've got a load of records and vinyl here, so I'll do the 300 subs and then I'll go through my new collection editions. So yeah, we'll do that. I've just realised that my fucking the one that I'm going to discuss on Cavernous Carnage is a fucking thing I've not dug out yet. Is that the one? Yeah, that's it. So Dave set the challenge for his 300 subs thing. The first album you ever bought with your own money. Have you still got that very first purchase? Do you still listen to it? Do you still like it? All those things and more. So, I had to rack my brains on this one. I was thinking, what was the first thing I purchased with my money? It might have been something else, but I clearly recall the shift into metal, this being the first thing that I purchased with my money. I went to the shop myself and purchased this. Before that, I'd been listening to Def Leppard, Van Halen, Guns N' Roses, that kind of thing. But I'd never bought anything of it. It was stuff that friends or my uncle had put onto a 90-minute cassette for me. And I'd been listening to stuff that way. I'd never gone out. And it was 1988 when I made this first purchase. And that was the time that really I started not only getting into the metal properly, but started wanting to collect it, to have my own collection of stuff. So that was clearly, obviously, yeah, like I say, I'd had cassettes given to me when we were younger of No Sleep Till Hammersmith and stuff like that, and Zeppelin and Sabbath things and all that kind of stuff. But nothing that I'd gone out and purchased. And this, as far as I can recall, is the first thing that I went out and purchased. Now, again, it was brought on by my move from Def Leppard and all that shite into what I term as proper metal. Came in 1988 in high school. I mean, I'm saying 1988. It might have been the back end of 87, start of 88. It was around then, anyway. And, so, and I've been given a cassette of Iron Maiden's Live After Death and was absolutely fucking hooked after that. And then I went with my pocket money to it was called the DMC, the Disco Music Centre, which was a bit of a chain of shops in the northwest area of England. I think they had one in Morecambe, one in Lancaster, maybe one in Barrow, possibly, something like that. But anyway, whatever it was, I went to the Morecambe DMC. I think they had two in Morecambe now I think about it, but I digress. And I wanted to get my own copy of Live After Death with the artwork and stuff like that. But that was a double cassette. I don't know if you recall. It was a double cassette back then, and it was cassettes that I was buying. And it cost, I think it was $5.99 or $6.99, which back then that was a lot of pocket money. That was a lot of fucking newspaper round money and stuff like that. So yeah, So I went with one that was a mere $2.99. I mean, the other one that I wanted as well was the current album at the time, which, if I recall, when I started buying it, the current album would have been Seventh Son, 1988. Yeah, I think it was just out, or around that time anyway. And that one were like $6.99 as well, because it were brand new, so yeah. I went for one that was $2.99. Alas, I don't have the cassette anymore. I bought it on cassette. All my old cassettes I think they got fucking damaged. I think they've been stored in a box in garage or something like that and got, I think, roof leaked right on. So anyway, they were fucked, all my cassettes. So all of them had to go out. That included fucking old Cradle of Filth demos, Anathema demos, fucking all sorts of cassette demos. Yeah, it's not worth thinking of. But anyway, so the album that I purchased first time with my money was this beauty, Killers, Iron Maiden. Do I still listen to it? Oh yes, yeah. And it's still, if you saw my Maiden ranking that I did, this is my favourite Maiden record. Now, it's probably a nostalgia element because it was the first one that I bought and properly immersed myself in it because I paid money on it, so I wanted to make sure I liked it. It was difficult at first though, because as explaining that I'd got into Live After Death, I was raised on Dickinson Maiden, and this of course is Di'Anno's last album with them. And at first I couldn't adapt to his vocal style. I'd got used to Dickinson at that point. I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this. But the songs were so fucking strong. It's all killer, no filler, this album, as well, as most of you will well know. The songs are so strong on it that I became hooked almost overnight. You've got the Ides of March that opens it, which is a fucking brilliant intro piece. Into Wrathchild. And then my favourite, the song that hooked me onto this album, Murders in the Rue Morgue. Make sure I've got that right, yeah. Fucking fantastic. But there's some proggy elements to stuff on that, and that's what I love about the Di'Anno Maiden. Obviously the proggy elements came back into it around the sort of synth eras of Seventh Son, and they always retain the prog elements. Let's not fucking be daft about it. There was always a progginess to Maiden, but there was something different about the proggy elements on these early first two with Di'Anno's voice and stuff like that, and some great songs on it. And I just love it as an album. No, I've not got the original cassette, but I've got an original press of it here on vinyl that I bought since. And I still love it. And yeah, to this day, it's one of my favourite Maiden records, if not my favourite currently. And yeah. So, yeah, the first purchase with my pocket money. So, yeah, right. So that was my entry to Dave Cavernous Carnage's fucking 300 subs comp. Wish me luck, people. Right. What I'll do next is a little shout out to, I'll show you my Roots of the Old Oak album that I've got on a nice fancy, hang on, what kind of vinyl is it? Green yellow marble vinyl that I bought. Sad update, this one. Stu Brogan, the guy behind Roots of the Old Oak, sadly passed away just over a week ago. It was all very sudden and it was all very shocking, and yeah, I'm gutted really. I've got to know Stuart quite well over the last couple of years. In an online and messaging capacity, we used to ping sort of messages back and forth to each other. He actually sent me one of the tracks off of this before it was released, just for fuck knows why, for my humble opinion on it, which I was absolutely honoured to give him my opinion on it. And it was ace, and I love this album. And I never got to meet Stuart in person. I very nearly did. I went to Cornwall on holiday last year, and he was from down Glastonbury way with his shop, Windraven, in Glastonbury. And the plan was, when I was coming back from Cornwall, we were nipping it because we were stopping in Bath, so I was going to nip into Glastonbury on the way up and go and see him and have a natter and a chinwag about Doom and various other things. And alas, the fucking elements conspired to... The rain was biblical coming out. Anyway, long fucking story short, and I'm sure I've moaned about this on another video. It took us 9 hours to drive from just near Truro in Cornwall to fucking Bath. 9 hours. It should have taken us to get all the way back to fucking Leeds in that time. It took forever. And anyway, so the biblical rain finished in Cornwall, finally got onto the fucking motorways, and then there were a smash, so we got filed off of that. And it took for bastard ever, and alas, I missed my meeting with Stu. we kind of give up, and it was like, next time I'm down that neck of the woods, I'll come and see you. Well, that time will never fucking come now. So, yeah, gutted really. But I just wanted to have a shout out to Stu Brogan, Roots of the Old Elk. Shout out, good sir, and see you on the other side. Really sad news. And yeah, I was quite shocked when I heard that. So I think there's a bit of a GoFundMe to help fund his funeral costs and various other things like that. So if there's some links, I'll try and remember to put them down here, but I don't think there's anything. It might be a Facebook page link or something like that, but anyway, I'll have a look. But yeah, so I just wanted a brief update about Stu there. So anyway, right, collection update. Now, some of you will have seen some of these if you follow my Instagram, and also if you follow previous videos, because I think I've already mentioned a few of these. But recent additions are as follows. I picked up this. You'll have seen it on my Dying Bride ranking. The album that I said that I'd probably never own at any point. Well, I found it with postage, £2 eBay. It's in really good nick, and I figured £2's enough for the fucking fantastic opening song on this. Yeah, that's about it. Like I said, there's a couple of other tracks which I don't mind, but the opening track's fucking great on this. The rest of it, but for £2, including postage, and in mint nick, really. Can't argue. So yes, the My Dying Bride that I wasn't sure would ever make it to my collection has. So, yeah, 34.788 complete. £2 with postage. Bargain. I'll stay with CDs. This. Hauntologist. For those of you that don't know, it's the two lads out of Magua. Their side project. I mean, it's dripping in Magua. Essentially, it's like sort of 50-60% you're listening to a Magua album in reality that's just slightly dialed down. Although you get that snarl of Magua, it's great, but there's a kind of post-metal vibe to it in places, which I really, really enjoy. Post-black, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. This is fucking phenomenal, and I've not really had it off the deck since I've purchased it. It's on my MP3 all the time as well. Fucking magnificent. Really, really good album. Album's called Hollow Band Hauntologist. I think you can only get it physical from the No Solace site, Poland-based, so you've got to wait a bit of time on postage and stuff, but yeah, fantastic. Check it out if you haven't already. This ripper, Blasphemer, brand new cassette, marked for death. Look at that, it's beautiful. There was a ace little sticker that come with it, but it's already on my guitar case, so you won't get to see that. But yeah, there's a little cassette there, really nice. Macho Records, isn't it? Yeah. Shout out Macho Records, fantastic little label. And yeah, magnificent stuff. Hats off, Blasphemer. Knocked it out the park again. And I love this. I was saying to friends, my first cassette purchase in fuck knows how long. It's been so long since I've had a cassette deck to play any of them on. That, yeah, I on it at 30 years. More than that, maybe, since I've purchased a cassette. So, yeah. The new Blasphemer. This Read It Said on My Dying Bride thing. Had it on CD for ages, but finally managed to pick up a reasonable copy of it on vinyl, which I'm really, really pleased with, because as I alluded to on that My Dying Bride ranking that I did, this of the more modern, and I say more modern era, when is this? It's like fucking 2004, isn't it? Yeah, so it's not that modern anymore, but away from the original era, when they moved into like Hamish and Sean that's in Godthrymm as well. Shout out Sean, shout out Hamish. Yeah, that they that era of My Dying Bride. And one of my favourites, this got where did I put this in my ranking? Was it 3? I think it was number 3 in my Bride rank. I fucking love this album, and it was with them playing Catherine Blake in the set when I recently saw them on the Paradise Lost and My Dying Bride gig at St George's Hall in Bradford. They played Catherine Blake, which made me dive back into this album, and it's magnificent. So I finally collared myself a fucking copy of it on vinyl. Very thrilled. Collared myself a copy of this as well off Hamish. I don't know if you can see it there. It's quite a dark image. Godthrymm's debut full-length Reflections. Fantastic. Perks of being in the band now. I managed to grab myself a nice sweet copy of this on vinyl, so I'm really, really fucking pleased with that. I just need Grand Rec on vinyl now. Got it on CD, but not vinyl. But yeah, so yeah, really pleased with that. And finally, on my holidays, we nipped into Newcastle on the way home. and went to Beatdown Records, which is fucking fabulous. If you've not been up there, go to it. It's a brilliant record shop. Tons of metal vinyl out the back. You kind of walk through the shop and down a little corridor out the back of it and into the vinyl section, and that's where the good stuff is. They had a copy of Blazing the Northern Sky in their original press, £700. I couldn't justify spending that on it, and suspect I'd have been fucking walking home had I purchased it. But what I did purchase was this reissue, yes, but Vis Licit Tar Os, my favourite Burzum album. If I had to pick one, this is my favourite. Philosophem's right up there, and 4 years was my favourite, but this just nicks it now for me. So really, put £21. Pleased as punch. They did have Philosophem in, but I managed to resist. They had a repress of Asker as well, or the red vinyl repress. Or is it clear? It was coloured vinyl in some description anyway. Reasonably priced. Get yourself up there. There's some bargains to be had. Yeah, I managed to pick up a copy of this Vis Licit Tar Os, so I was well fucking made up with that. So, loads of updates and a little competition thing. I'll wrap it up there because we're at 21 minutes. Thank you for watching. Should be back on course next Monday, same as usual, for a video update. Don't know what it'll be. But until then, actually next week, we'll be right on the cusp of the Crowbar gig at that point, so I'll probably be a bag of nerves. But stay tuned. Thanks for my new subscribers. Lost one, but I figured I would lose one. It was, you know, when you see them fucking bot subscribers coming. So I knew they were going to vanish at some point. So yeah, back down to 177, potentially something like that. But anyway, so let's get it up to 200, because I'll have a really shit competition myself if we do. So yeah, until then, thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing, and I will see you next week. Toodle pip.